And Bob Suter is going to be good enough to welcome the acknowledgement of country, and we'll proceed with our official ceremony after that. So we'll be all ready. The flag raising is in the good hands of our stalwart from the RSL sub-branch, which is very appropriate for them to do that today for us. And thanks very much, Norm, for that. So everybody, all you girls and boys, please get your flags and wave them, and we'll have the flag raising ceremony. Thank you. A big welcome to the Fidget City Band once again, and we'll do the Advance Australia thing. Okay? Give them a big hand, please. Sorry, I've overlooked one little thing. A big welcome also to our vocalist today. Glenda's been doing it for us a couple of years now, and she'll be rendering the anthem. So I don't say join in, I can't tell you to do that. So if you just acknowledge it, and all you good boys and girls, could you wave your flags? Thank you.
Okay. You filming this? Where is it?
Well done, Glenda, and let's go City Band. Give them a big hand, please. Thank you. And now invite our dear friend Bob Suter for the acknowledgement of country. Thank you. Thanks, Bob. Give Bob a big hand. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I'd just like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land, past and present, and would like for you all today to celebrate and join together with the rest of Australia in Australia Day. So, Dingwala is welcome, and Yambilawan, greetings to all, and thank you. Thank you.
Big hand for Bob, thanks once again. Thank you. We'll now proceed with our official ceremony. It's my pleasant duty to introduce our guest today, to worship the Mayor, Councillor Marie Statham. Thank you. And our ambassador today, we're very pleased to have him here in Portland. It's always nice to have our ambassador visit us here, and it's once again a great pleasure to have the ambassador for Australia Day, James Chapman. We'll get more of that about James when introduction. So give him a big hand, please. It's now my pleasure to call on Her Worship the Mayor, Councillor Marie Sladen, to address you, and I'll invite Marie to also introduce and welcome our Ambassador. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. It's an absolute delight to be here today to represent Lithgow City Council. It's great to see so many people out and about in our wonderful little village of Portland. On this day, January the 26th, Australia Day, I invite you to reflect, recognise and celebrate all the hard-working and inspirational individuals, organisers, groups and friends. Today, as I speak to you, I think you will pick up that I am often using the words reflect, respect and celebrate. I do this because I believe in Australia Day. That causes us to think about these things, it causes us to reminisce, reflect, respect and celebrate. I also wish you a happy year ahead, and while doing so, welcome you all to the Chinese Year of the Tiger, a symbol of strength and braveness. Today we reflect on different ways people acknowledge and celebrate this special day. We respect our national journey, past and ongoing, and of course that respect extends to the traditions of culture and the First Nations people. And we should celebrate that we as a nation, in which space exists for the constructive conversations which help us to find ways of moving forward as a nation and confront complex and difficult questions. As a council and a community, and as Mayor, we're also trying seriously to consider all of the social, economic futures of our city. We reflect on the fact that Australia is also a nation which embodies diversity. Some of us here today are second, third and fourth generations Australians, whether from convicts, free men, free women, people who came from the gold rush era, the post-World War, the Second World War, or more recent. We or our families may have come to this country due to the crisis somewhere else, to avoid persecution, to escape poverty, and to pursue a better life. Lithgow's first European settlers arrived in 1824, and by 1860 only 4 more families had settled in the valley. Today Lithgow is a city, and Portland's part of that city, of 23,000 people. We are shaped by a colourful history, surrounded by stunning nature, and the home of more than 21 languages, not just English. Today is a reasonable and appropriate day for us to reflect on another challenging year, and in doing so respect the amazing committed work for those who have been the first responders, and I know there are some first responders here today for the difficult times that we've had over the last few years. During the coronavirus pandemic, the fires, the floods, the bushfires and the droughts. They are our unsung heroes. We celebrate that we have them in our district. They help protect our communities and help to save lives. Today also, we welcome some new people to Lithgow with our naturalisation ceremony. They too are going to be part of our community. On behalf of Lithgow City Council and my fellow councillors, I'd like to congratulate Portland and John Kearns for holding Australia Day today. It's a special event for our nation, it's a special event for our little town, and I think with COVID so rampant at the moment, we're very fortunate to be able to come out today and celebrate this special day. See some friends, catch up with some friends that you haven't seen for a long time, and just be a good Aussie. For me personally today, to be able to deliver this speech, I feel very humble and I'm very honoured to be your Mayor. Today is also a special day for James Chapman. I had the privilege of meeting James Chapman several years ago when he attended the Reg Cow, the Sports Star of the Year Awards in Lithgow. James is one of the Awesome Foursome. I don't know where anybody remember the Awesome Foursome, I'm sure you will. He's a great Australian, he's our ambassador today, and I couldn't be prouder to represent James representing what he does best, and that's getting you to believe in being whatever you can be in this world. So I welcome James. We had a lovely dinner last night with some of the councillors and some of the staff, a very small dinner, but I learned a lot about his life, and to be somebody that's, I guess, represented us at Olympic level and come home with a silver medal. And if you remember that tiny moment, I think it was 2016 from memory, it may not have been, 2012, 1.5 seconds, just a blink of an eye, he could have got gold. But we're very proud of his ability to have been still in the area so that we can absolutely enjoy his talk today. Take heed of what he says because he's a great Aussie. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, John. It's very nice to be welcome here in your community. Thank you very much for having me, my partner Ash and Louis. I get asked to address a local community each year as an Australia Day ambassador, and it makes me incredibly proud to continue to represent my country now 10 years after I last competed in the Olympic Games, in the London Games in 2012, as the Mayor just mentioned. It was the progression of 2.5 Olympic Games. I was the reserve in 2004, so I didn't compete. I was a half of the Games. I was over in Athens there ready to race in case someone rolled an ankle or got a sniffle or whatever it was, but no chance to be an Olympian that time. But 2008 I represented Australia, my first Olympic Games in Beijing in China, in the men's 8. We came 6th last in the final. We had a tough competition and we were a bit slow that day and still trying to finish that race. And then 4 years later I competed in London, saw our Australian flag being raised. My folks and my 2 sisters were there in the crowd behind the medal rostrum, and made me incredibly proud to be someone who represented our country, to stood there and race and try and put my best foot forward in front of our international competitors and in front of the world. But what did I learn in my time as being an elite athlete and being an Olympian that I hope might be useful for us to think about, reflect on, be respectful of it on Australia Day? I think there's 3 things I learnt about being an Olympian. One, you need to have a goal. And it's important for all of us as human beings to have a goal. What is it that we'd like to make a difference to? What is it we'd like to achieve? We need to have a goal. That's number 1. Number 2, the importance of community. And number 3, it's hard work. And it was those 3 things that I think helped me have the privilege of representing our country in the Olympic Games. So what does that mean for us now in 2022? Well, if I think about all the things that helped me along the way, so my community was my family, my friends, my local rowing club. I joined my local rowing club as an 18-year-old. I was a little bit unsure of what I wanted to do with my life. I was working as a bank teller at the Westpac branch. I was in the local rowing club, and I thought it was really exciting to get a chance to get on the team bus and go down to country Victoria or down to Tasmania or wherever it might be. But I was part of a local community and there was volunteers down there, and I look in front of me and I see the SES, I see the RFS, I see the CWA here to my left, the RSL, and I think about all the community groups that come together to make something happen, to make anything happen. And if you think about what we've needed from our community groups over this last year, 2021, and the way that COVID's impacted our health, it's impacted our economy, it's impacted our psychology, it's impacted our social connections and our social relationships. These community groups and these volunteer groups are critical and essential to our health, to our physical health, to our mental health, to our community health. And it was my rowing club that helped me achieve what I was looking to achieve as an Olympian. I had coaches down there helping me when I was having tough training days. I had friends and teammates who knew were going to be there. So even when the alarm went off at 4:30 a.m, and I had to be at practice at 5:15, I didn't want to let down my teammates and my community mates. So having a goal and being aware of the community around you and how they contribute to your life is a really important part of being an Australian, and really important to me in what I achieved as an Olympian. And the last thing is hard work. So having a goal, being part of your community, and hard work. Now, there's no doubt to be an Olympian we had to work pretty hard. Like I said, we had practice at 5:15 every morning, then I'd go to the branch and work as a bank teller. And then I'd come back in the afternoon to the rowing club and do a second training session. So there was plenty of hard work. I sat back after and reflected on my time as an Olympian and how many kilometres I covered. It was about 200,000 kilometres on the water of rowing. That's 4.5 times around the earth. We would train 3 sessions a day, some weekends out at Penrith on the Nepean River or on the International Olympic rowing course there. And we had to be on those rowing machines or go for training runs, and we'd have to consume about 6,000 calories a day just to try and keep up with the energy needs. But it was a lot of hard work. And I think about the way that us Australians work so hard every day. It's that work ethic which makes our country so great, which makes our communities so great. We have a goal to make our communities great. We come together through our different volunteer groups, through our different community groups, and we work hard. Now, last year was tough. Last year was really hard. I found it really hard. The three of us, Ashley and I, we live in an 80-metre squared apartment in Sydney, and we didn't have any outdoor space or a garden, and we had to do a 14-day close contact isolation. That was one of the hardest things I've ever been through. Not feeling connected to my friends and my family and being able to go to work. But people we know in our community dropped off care packages. I missed coffee, and someone dropped off some coffees for us. What an incredible thing to be able to do to people that are going through tough times. Now, the hard work is an important lesson. It's not just doing the hard work for hard work's sake, it's what comes out of it. I believe that it's actually in the striving and the hard work and the suffering that you do realise who your community groups are. You do realise who's there for you. You realise who your friends are, and you also learn what you're capable of, and what your friends are capable of, and what your community is capable of. And we've learned over the last year the way different community groups can come together in those hard times, what we actually can do for each other. And it's my hope that despite the terrible times we went through in COVID, that we don't forget what we learned from it, which is how to come together, which is how to think of each other, which is how to be involved in your community, how to reach out to people in times of need, and how to provide services to people in times of need. So for me, Australia Day is a lovely time to reflect on what it meant to me to wear this blazer as an Olympian, what it means to be an Australian. And I think about all those different parts of the community that came together. My family comes from my dad's side of the family came out here from the United Kingdom in mid-1800s. My mother's side of the family came out here in 1950 as refugees on a boat from Hungary. My father's family was in timber. My mother's family, they just did anything they could just to get by. And these are great inspirational stories for me about the hard work it takes to provide for your family and to be part of the community. So think about what your goals are for this year. Goals are important for us to have. They give us direction, they give us focus, and they allow us to work hard towards something. So number 1, have a goal. Number 2, think about your community. Think about how you need to be part of your community and how you can support your community. Whether it's through volunteering at your local rowing club, whether it's being part of any kind of community group. And number 3, it is hard work, but it's also through the striving and the suffering that we learn about ourselves when we learn about our community groups and our friends and families. So thank you for having me as a part of your Australia Day celebrations. It's fantastic to be here. It's a beautiful little town. Ashley, Lou and I have loved exploring the region yesterday and today, and we'll continue to this afternoon. And I wish you all a very happy Australia Day and a fantastic 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, James. What about 3 cheers for our ambassador, Rodney Premier? Bip, 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 bip. Thank you. Miriam's even working hard today. But Miriam has been very much part of this community for a number of years. She's been coordinator of the G'day Youth Centre for the past 10 years or more, probably more than that. But besides that, she's very dedicated to work with children, the community generally, the church. She's also very heavily involved with the Easter Festival, if we ever get back to it. It's been a great event. And generally, Miriam's a very colourful person, well respected in our community. Would you please acknowledge our Citizen of the Year for 2022, Miriam Palmer. You just stay there, Miriam. You just stay there, just wait here. Would you mind just staying here? We'll get it. If I can just make a bit of the... Miriam's even working hard today, but... Miriam has been very much part of this community for a number of years. She's been coordinator of the G'day Youth Centre for the past 10 years or more, probably more than that. But besides that, she's very dedicated to work with children, the community generally, the church. She's also very heavily involved with the Easter Festival, if we ever get back to it. It's been a great event. And generally, Miriam's a very colourful person, well respected in our community. Would you please acknowledge our Citizen of the Year for 2022, Miriam Palmer. You just stay there, Miriam. You just stay there, just wait here. Would you mind just staying here? We'll get it. If I can just make a bit of the next very important award is our Young Citizen of the Year. This award is very important to try and encourage our young citizens to be involved in the community, and I urge all our young children and citizens to keep in mind the work you can do for your community and make it worthwhile, enjoy what you're doing and doing your part. Our Young Citizen of the Year for 2022 is Ebony Bradley. Ebony's once again one of our very popular young citizens. She's involved with the SES, doing great work there, and also just general community activities. So a big hand for Ebony, please. Thank you. Our next award, which is a very important award every year, is for the Community Event of the Year. Sadly with COVID, things haven't been that great, but we still managed to have a number of events here in Portland, and that's very appreciative of the organisations involved. And the one for this year, the community event we select for this year, is the Portland Tidy Towns. Got someone from Tidy Town? Portland Tidy Towns do great work in the community, and the selection of the award was given for the erection and unveiling of our memorial wall down at the foundations. I think everyone will agree it's a very worthy memorial. It's important for the community, for another addition of attractive activities for Portland, and also remembering all those who sadly lost their lives working in the cement work. So well done, Tidy Towns. Thank you. Our next award is an acknowledgement award. Well, I'll say it's for the Portland Foundation. I think we're all very thankful for the great work that Portland Foundation is doing here in Portland in enhancing our area and community and development. We appreciate everything they've done, and particular importance for this year was the development of the Mill Pond. It's a great walk area and activity for fishing, and they had a great fireworks event during the year which was really well received. So once again, congratulations Foundations for the work you do on an ongoing basis, and I'd like someone to come forward and receive the award. Thank you. None other than Richard Evans. Richard is the local coordinator, and we congratulate them all. On this day, we also like to acknowledge some people or organisations for their work in the community. And today we would like to acknowledge a very important community person for outstanding service, assisting people, Lionel Cousins. Lionel's a tireless worker. He's always there to help the elderly and other people in the community. He's also a director of the Portland RSL, the Vintage Car Club, and anything that's going to Portland, you can sort of rely on Lionel being involved. Big hand for Lionel, please. We'd also like to acknowledge another one of our young students at Portland Central School. We try to impress on the young people to be involved in, through their school with the community and activities, and the worthy recipient for the award for support of all students, school, community activities, together with her attitude and community involved in all areas at Portland Central School. Would you please acknowledge Penlip Cavill-Lowe. We now come to our sports awards for the year. It's appropriate to have a very fine Olympian sportsman with us to do the presentations this year. And our first award goes to Emmerich Jalolo Promoto. Excuse me if I didn't pronounce that correctly. Emmerich's a fine young lad, and he's represented this year in shot put, both nationally and state. So that's very great to have a person like that in our community. Give her a big hand, please. All the recipients are staying here, are they? Yep. Okay, our next award is for another very fine young sportsman. They keep bobbing up every year. They certainly excel with their work and sport, and I'd like to call Nakira Han. Quite a resume here. Nakira is Western Region Combined High Schools Open Women's Cricket, Western Zone Under 15 Cricket Championship side, Western Zone Under 16 Cricket Championship side, Western Zone Under 19 Country Championship side, and Central West Under 16 Cricket side. I think you'll all agree that's a pretty impressive record. Thank you. Just wait there, Nakira. She's not going to be outdone. Her sister does just as well. Dakota, and unfortunately cannot be with us today, but I'm sure we acknowledge her work, her efforts. I know Dakota was Western Region PSSA Swimming, Western Region Athletics, Western Region Girls Rugby League 7 side, Lithgow District PSSA Boys Rugby League. Please acknowledge Dakota, and we'll get Nakira to receive that award. Now, individual award once again is to Jaden Healy. Jaden's really excelled in outstanding achievement and results in the sport of motor racing. If we give Jaden a big hand, please. And finally, we have the Portland Pocket Rockets 2022 undefeated Lithgow District Netball. They've been excelling in this for the last couple of years, and we congratulate them. I'll call the names, and if they're with us, they can come forward. The important one, Terry Brown, the coach. Alyssa Curtaley, hope I got the name, excuse me. Alyssa? Just wait there, Tim. Libby Bailey. Mia Dunleavy. Molly Lambert. Macy Brown. Charlotte Handley. Ashton Bullock. And Alira Dunleavy. Hope I haven't missed any. My apologies if we have. We'll have to rectify that. We get a group. We all get a group. We get a group photo with all the awards. And to continue for a while with us here, which we appreciate once again. And now we'll have the Lithgow Pipe Band on at about 1:15. I think Alira will be back with us, and also Charlie. So thank you all. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Just one moment, please. I'd like to thank John Kearns. Would everybody like to put your hands together for John Kearns, please? And Bob Suter for welcoming to country, and also to this amazing band who are struggling at the moment. I do know that they're looking for new members. They've had some challenges over the last couple of weeks, so we're thinking of them, and we do not need them to go anywhere else but where they are in Lithgow and our surrounding areas. So don't hesitate to come up if you've got children that need to be taught, or anybody here that might be retired that's moved to our area that would like to become involved. Please do. They're an amazing group of people. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria. I also wish to acknowledge Councillor Coleman. I noticed with her here. I didn't welcome Cass. Nice to have you with us. Thank you. Okay, make sure you stick around for the end and acknowledge the people that entertain us here for the day. And as I say, the pipe band will be here about 1:15, and we'll have some other entertainment ongoing. Okay, thank you.